everyone. My name is Frédéric Cardin, and welcome to another Pan Am 360 interview. Today, we're going to talk about one of the events that's going to happen on February 27 in Montreal at Théâtre Plaza in the context of Montréal Nouvelles Musiques or Montreal New Music Festival. And this special event is a concert, an interdisciplinary event, a multimedia event. It's called Mystery of Clock. And to talk about it, I'm receiving two fantastic musicians. The first one is a violinist. He's called Mark Fewer. He's a fantastic artist who is at ease as much in avant-garde or baroque, indie pop, avant pop, whatever. He's a great musician, and he's been at McGill University for quite some time. The other musician is Aiyun Huang, who is a percussionist, and she's also a fantastic musician with all kinds of aspects to her playing. And she also was a part of the McGill University teaching uh, alumni a few years ago. Now both of them have went on to the dark side somewhat. They're now based in Toronto. I'm kidding, guys. So welcome, Ayun, and welcome, Mark.
Pleasure to see you, Frederic. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. I mean, we're gonna talk about some great stuff here. So it's called Mystery of Clock, and what is it about, and what's it gonna sound like?
Ayun, do you want to start?
Sure. Oh, it's a mystery about
It's
clock.
a mystery.
But it's really about the relationship of two people as humans, as musicians, and as they go through different journeys. And so this is an interdiscipline in a way, like it's not just about sound, it's also about story. It's about how this story plays out using the different things we have available on stage, with dramaturgy, with choreography, with video, with recorded sound, and then also with acoustic sound and our voice and our body.
Oh.
So in a way that's all tied together to make a musical performance that's more than just about your regular concerts.
You're telling a story with your two instruments. So it fuses theater, dance, music, and lighting, and many other things. But you're not playing your music, it's music by many different composers, is it?
There's some improvisation involved, which of course would be
Okay.
ourselves, but the majority of the music is stuff that was written for the production. One exception or two exceptions to that, and also just to add to what Ayun just said, I rather like how the director creator Roland Auzet uh, talked about this not that long ago, and we were asking him to explain it. The idea of mystery of clock. Um, it's this idea that each individual walks through life with an inner purpose or an inner clock, and they have their own way of existing. And sometimes when you are in relationship to others, that other person's clock meets yours, or doesn't. And so it is about a relationship between two people and about their own individual clocks and about all the ways in which they relate to each other over the period of a lifetime. So there is a dramaturgy to this. There is a story. Um, I play violin. I also kind of we both speak. There's no singing, thankfully, because I don't think either of us would want to sing in public, at least. But we will be kind of seen as musicians and as actors and as theatrical presence on stage for this. It's unique and a stretch for us as well, I think, or at least I'll speak for myself, a stretch for me.
For
I don't know
you.
if Ian feels the same way.
But you're not stranger to some, strange stuff and then
Oh,
some
oh, oh no! In fact,
avant-garde and so on. So yeah, if you say that this is for you, it's stretching it. Uh, wow, it's something else.
well, I feel like the ways in which I am being challenged here in this piece is, like all great challenges artistically, it's an opportunity for growth, and you end up taking that growth into every new project that you become involved in. So I'm really thankful for this project. It's been a lot of years of work to put this together, many years, and so it is continuing to evolve. I mean, after we do this performance in Montreal, we may again come back to looking at it from another perspective and seeing it and say, oh, we might want to tweak this a little bit here, or we might want to do something different here. And I think that's one of the great things about it as a project, that it has a life right now and it has a direction, but it's also open to some new possibility.
You never answer my desires. At least not really. I feel deeply. There's something deep inside here in my inside. There's something there in your inside which you hide from me. What is it? What is it? What do you hide? Say it. What? What is it?
How long have you been doing it now? It's not the first time in Montreal. It's been done before.
Well, we started the project when we were both still at McGill University, and so that's many years ago now. So we were both still there. You know, this would have been, what was the year?
It was 2016.
2016. So it's been a lot of years.
Okay.
Of putting this into production.
But how many times have you presented it to the public?
This will, well, we've recorded it. We presented it to kind of a private audience at a theater once about a year and a half ago. But this will be the first time we do this new version, which has updates.
Not that much. Yeah. Okay, right. Okay, it's kind of almost a premiere.
Right, yeah. I think that's the way we're thinking of it.
Yeah, it's a premiere. So there's something I want to add to what Mark just said. So there is a musical piece and a musical idea that ties the whole musical element together, which is Bach's chaconne.
Okay, okay. This is a kind of a
line, a thread.
Through line,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So we have this thread using Bach's chaconne as a departure point musically. So a lot of the new pieces that have been composed, like people we have asked for pieces, we ask them to consider the chaconne as the background, sort of inspiration and the place to depart from. So musically, it has this thread underneath it, and then theatrically, we have the thread of the clock and the mystery around the clock and the human relationship and how this kind of plays out as a theatrical thread. So like in two different universes, but at the same time, they all have ingredients that kind of hold them together.
Okay. And which instruments are you gonna play? You play percussions, but what kind of percussions are what kind of armada are you going to use?
Well, I'm going to play rice.
She's not kidding. She's going to play rice.
One of the pieces
you mean like rice that you I mean I've seen it before, grains of rice that you put on a surface and you shake it and it makes sounds, or something else?
Yeah, so one of the pieces comes from the idea of rice being spilled and how that creates different patterns and sound, and makes different kind of rhythmical and melodic material.
Right.
And then that also touches on the idea of, basically the second, like if you think of a clock going like tick tock, then we have this kind of pendulum going across the stage. I will also be playing more traditional instrument, the marimba. So the piece ends with like a big marimba violin duet.
You started it many years ago, as you said. What first gave you the impetus to just mix violin and percussion?
I think there was an interest in the idea of us creating something as a duo, because we're both as artists, we both tend to do things that are not always traditional, and we're kind of always, as individuals, trying to expand our own creative output. So it seemed pretty natural for us to try to find a way to combine our talents to do something that, yet again, would stretch ourselves. So I think that's why we approached Roland Auzet in the first place, because he has a very strong past in the music world. He himself was a percussionist, but also at a certain point, he gave up his life in music and went into theater and has become a theater director. So he has a mind that's in two different worlds, and that I think we both really appreciate creatively. And I think we both felt really comfortable with him as the choice to guide us into finding a way to collaborate and stretch into new territories.
So basically, I've known Roland since like the early 2000 and maybe 2011. I met him. So in 2015, I brought him to Montreal to be a keynote in one of the conferences that I put on. And in that event, he presented a piece that he wrote, both his part and also orchestral instruments. He played these like self-made instruments that look almost like toys, but then they make different sounds. So after I saw his keynote presentation, I was very inspired, and with his creativity, just the way that he was able to create art using unconventional methods, but just the imagination that he has, like to turn basically objects or things that you would never consider would be musical material, and then you look at it in a way that's just so original that really blew my mind. So I was like, oh yeah, I really want to work with Roland.
So one of the things that happens early on in the performance is I hear a voice, which is Aiyun's voice, singing a song. And I take that melody, start with that melody, and then I improvise around that. And that's one basic structural thing that happens early on in the work. And then when it comes to the Bach chaconne, that is used as a starting point. And when I improvise from that, it goes off in very aggressive and atonal and kind of a scattered fashion, because it's in some ways I'm kind of losing my mind at that point in the show.
All right. So well, this is extremely intriguing and interesting concept and idea. I mean, we're gonna have to be there to really feel it, and it's very exciting. Thank you so very much for being here today, Aiyun. I repeat, Aiyun Huang and Mark Fewer. Mark Fewer, violinist. Aiyun Huang, who is a percussionist. They're gonna give a concert event, multimedia and interdisciplinary spectacle and experience on February 27, 2025. It's at 7:30 p.m. at Théâtre Plaza in Montreal. It's for the occasion of the Montreal Nouvelles Musiques Festival. We're very glad to have you back with us, guys. Now that you're in Toronto, we don't see you as often.
Thank you.
But you should come back even more often. I think you come back from time to time anyway. You're not so far away, but it's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Frédéric. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and we'll be there to enjoy
Great.
this
Thank
show.
you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.